A 13-year-old child has been attacked with a machete violently. A hacking incident exposing vulnerabilities far beyond the local community. What might once have been treated as an isolated criminal event is increasingly being viewed as part of a much larger international concern. Across the Western world, youth violence is becoming more extreme, weapons are becoming more accessible, organised criminal influence is expanding through digital networks, and social media is accelerating both fear and intimidation. At the same time, cybercrime has transformed local incidents into global events, capable of attracting attention, influence and participation from individuals thousands of kilometres away. The attack on a 13-year-old immediately raises questions about public safety, youth crimes, family stability, policing, education and community cohesion. When combined with allegations of hacking or digital criminal activity, the issue expands beyond street violence into growing intersection between physical and cyber threats. Communities increasingly find themselves confronting a reality where crime is no longer confined to neighbourhood boundaries. A teenager can be influenced online, recruited digitally, targeted physically, and exposed globally within hours. The deeper concern is not simply the individual crime itself. It is what such incidents may reveal about broader social pressures, declining restraint, criminal optimism, technical misuse, technological misuse, and the vulnerability of young people in a rapidly changing world. As governments, law enforcement agencies, educators, parents, and communities search for solutions, the central question remains: are these isolated events, or are they warning signs of a wider international trend that democratic societies are only just beginning to understand?
Uy, qué malito, cómo botó sangre. Oh, no! Oh, 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 no, oh, ay, Dios mío, no, ¿eso qué es? Oh.
Let's do this for 10 years, I'll be 10 years, I'll be what? You're so younger. Yeah, I'm saying 10 years, I'll be 30 years, I'll be 2 years, I'll be 10 years. Alright, at least play football. No, yeah, football's for one. Finally, Sunday. Yeah. Done. Yeah. Done. Where you from, bro? Come on. No, I'll still be fresh. You're still younger. Let's still be fresh. 10 years, I'll be 10 years, I'll be what? You're still younger. Yeah, I'm saying 10 years, I'll be 30 years, I'll be 10 years. Alright, I used to play football. No, yeah, football's for one. Finally, Sunday. Yeah. Done. Yeah. Done. Where you from, bro? What the fuck? Take the property.
Melbourne's CBD has become the site of a horrific machete attack in the early hours of this morning. It's alleged a man armed with the machete attacked another man in the Queen Street area. This was just before 2:30 a.m. The victim is being treated for non-life-threatening stab wounds. Police have taken that man into custody and they are now investigating the circumstances.
There was yet another horrific machete attack in Melbourne over the weekend, this time at an Altona shopping centre where a man was attacked by a group of men demanding his mobile phone.
Ambulance Victoria has confirmed the victim suffered serious lacerations to his arm, and witnesses at the shopping centre have told me there was blood everywhere and the man's hand was only partly attached. Tonight, 7 News understands he's having the lower part of his arm amputated.
Well, I've got to say, this is awkward because Premier Jacinta Allen banned machetes 6 weeks ago. You remember that, right? In response to a series of dramatic machete attacks, she held a dramatic press conference where she used her special powers to put an immediate ban on the sale of machetes. Jacinta Allen's machete ban came with all the usual political theatre, solemn nods from police ministers, furrowed brows and the sort of we've got this under control energy you usually associate with circus clowns juggling chainsaws.
We have been working incredibly hard to bring about Australia's first machete ban, Australia's first machete ban. I'm announcing today that effective immediately, we'll be bringing in place a ban on the sale of machetes here in Victoria, and this ban will be in place from midday on Wednesday. Victoria will be banning machetes from being sold anywhere in the state. We can move to bring about this ban on the sale of machetes, bring about Australia's first machete ban. As I said, we've brought about the ban on machetes. The purpose of this ban, Australia's first machete ban, this is the toughest ban on the sale of machetes that has been put in place here in Australia.
And yet, here we are. Despite the government's brave stand against inanimate objects, the man is now missing his phone and a hand.
With that, the government proposes that a youth offender on their way to an aggravated burglary will think to themselves, hold up a minute, maybe what I'll do is I'll pull up to that cop shop that's under lights, I'll pull up to that cop shop that is got CCTV, and I will go and just dispose of my machete that's illegal so that they all know who I am. Get real, Acting Speaker, that is just simply absurd. $13 million for 40 bins. If you do the maths on that, Acting Speaker, that is $325,000 spent per bin. These bins that look like charity bins at an op shop. So that is their priorities, to cut $15 million from the budget for policing, but instead spend $13 million of taxpayers' money on 40 bins at what? I don't know, $325,000 a pop. You could buy a Ferrari with that. Poses that a youth offender on their way to an aggravated burglary will think to them, maybe what I'll do is I'll pull up to that cop shop that's under lights. I'll pull up to that cop shop that is got CCTV, and I will go and just dispose of my machete that's illegal so that
the great machete bin mystery. This whole mystery has captivated Melbourne, and millions of people now are invested in this mystery. And I'd like to thank all the people that have contacted my office. I'd like to thank all of the people that have contacted my office and the millions of people that have been watching this mystery unfold. So, what do we know so far? We know.
Order,
please.
Order, please. I think all sides of the chamber, come on, Mr. Limbrick.
Thank you, President. Yes, so millions of people are invested in this mystery. What do we know about the mystery so far? Well, we know that the government said that there's a $13 million budget, and we know that the government said that there's about 40 machete bins being installed. But the reason that people are interested in this mystery is not because of the machete bins. It's not even because of the $13 million, I don't think. It's because it's emblematic of the needless secrecy that this government always engages in. Now, Some of the things that we've uncovered here that we think we have good evidence of, well, firstly, we know that the bins were actually only about $2,400 each, $2,800 including delivery probably, which is far cheaper than the retail price. I actually got a quote for a Machete bin and it's about $4,000 from a reputable manufacturer. So they're cheaper. So, yes, they're cheaper. The other thing that we've uncovered is very good evidence that at least some of them were made in a Mount Gambier prison in South Australia. And I look forward to the government, maybe they can clear this up for us, whether that's actually true. We also have evidence that some of them at least were potentially made in Ravenhall as well. Maybe the government can clear that up. Maybe the invoices will clear that up. Point of order, President.
Mr. Limbrick on a point of order.
Yeah, can I please just finish my speech?
Yeah.
That would be.
Please let Mr. Limbrick.
Now, I think that if the government was just straight up about this and said, this is what we did and this is why we did it, I think that the Victorian people would actually be totally fine with that. In fact, if you told the Victorian people, well, we only need these bins to run for a few months, so we got it on the cheap and we actually did some contracts with some prisons because we didn't want to waste taxpayers' money, I think that the Victorian people would be happy with that. And if they said, well, the rest of the money, what we're actually going to use it on is this, this and this, and they itemised it. Now, we know that a bunch of it is going to be used on advertising. I've already uncovered a whole bunch of ads on the Department of Justice and Community Safety Facebook page. If the government was just upfront about these things and explained it, there wouldn't be this needless speculation, because when the government is quiet about these things and remains silent, everyone thinks something shady's going on. And until the government comes clean on this, people are going to continue thinking. People are going to continue thinking that something shady is going on.
One of the most ridiculous political ideas I think I have ever heard of, and that is being supported, it seems, by senior Victorian police. Now, this idea involves machetes, those long single-bladed weapons of choice by out-of-control teenage crime gangs, where they are not only used to terrify people woken in the dead of night by home invaders, threatening them and stealing their cars and phones, also they use them all around the country on their own gang members. Now, this is 2025, right across Melbourne, and increasingly into what is seen as wealthy regional centres in places like the southeastern suburbs of Melbourne and beyond. So bad is this. This is Australia, by the way, not apartheid South Africa or South Sudan, but Melbourne. So bad that this carrying of machetes has become something that the Labor government, after years of living in denial about teenage crime gangs, have suddenly decided they need to do something about it. Parliament a few weeks back banned the sale of machetes in hardware stores, putting the onus on the shopkeepers to take them off the shelves. Only problem with that was anyone who didn't have one already and needed a new one, well, they simply went online and bought one and had it home delivered probably within a day. Now, the very smart state government, after introducing their useless sale ban, decided theft would, from September, make it illegal to carry such a weapon. Now, why you would legally be able to wander around the suburbs at night with a long-bladed weapon is beyond me. But no, it would become illegal to do that from September, so 4 weeks away. Now, why the delay? No one, including police, could quite work that out. But in 4 weeks' time, that's from tomorrow, 4 weeks tomorrow, this will become law. Do I think it'll stop 13 and 14-year-olds, many from dysfunctional families or in out-of-home care, from doing exactly that? No, I don't. But today, one of the ridiculously stupid ideas I think I've ever heard of was endorsed by one of the state's top police officers, a bloke by the name of Brett Curran. Now, I believe Brett Curran is a fine police officer, and he's probably doing the bidding of even more senior police who are doing the bidding of their delusional political masters. Brett Curran was wheeled out to announce that from September 1, outside dozens of suburban and country police stations, there would be machete bins. I'm not making this up. Machete bins for machete owners who don't use them for cutting bamboo, but to try and cut people's arms off to hand them in. That's what you do. You go to the machete bin. The police officer said these bins provide an opportunity for families who might be concerned about their kids and machetes and knives. Bring them down to the centre and put them in the bins. Well, there you go. A nice family outing to dispose of a weapon you might have used the night before to attack a rival gang member or terrorise an innocent member of the public. You can hold hands with mum and dad, walk down to the police station and hand it in. I mean, seriously.
The analysis view has examined the intersection of youth violence and machete crime, robbery, cybercrime, social influence and community safety, and international criminal trends. We just explored how local criminal incidents can become symbols of broader social challenges involving youth disengagement, organised criminal networks, technical exploitation, public fear, and institutional responses. The objective is not to sensationalise, but to understand, get some understanding, identifying the forces contributing to escalating youth violence and examining the measures required to restore public safety, accountability, and social stability.